welcome to the No Spin News, Monday, June 17th, 2024. Stand up for your country. Well, the news cycle really heating up. I'm blaming it on climate change. You know, did you ever notice now whenever there's a storm or a fire or anything, the AP, the Associated Press, which usually reports on these things, it's always global warming, always, no matter what it is. Could be an avalanche of snow. It could be anything. And I don't want to be cynical. I do believe that, you know, the planet is changing. I think that that's happening. We just don't know exactly why, although I want a much cleaner situation, as I'm sure you do as well. But everybody's overheated, and that is extending into the news cycle. Today, the Talking Points memo is about the CNN debate upcoming on Thursday, June 27th. You know all about it, I'm sure. Okay, so you got Trump and Biden. They're going to be on the stage. It's going to be in Atlanta. You got to have Dana Bash and Jake Tapper, two CNN people, moderating it. Here are the rules just announced, and both Trump and Biden agreed to these rules. 90-minute debate, 2 commercial breaks. Candidates will appear at their respective podiums. Okay, I would assume that. And the campaign staff will not be allowed to interact with the candidates. All right? So then the microphones will be muted until the candidate is designated to speak. So therefore, no one can interrupt, which is not really a great thing, but, you know, I think it'll help Trump because Trump has a tendency to interrupt every second. All right? The candidates will not be permitted to have pre-written notes or props. They can't have a pen and pad of paper and some water. Well, that's nice. No live audience. Now, I wrote a column yesterday called It's Debatable, predicting exactly what's going to happen in this debate. So I want you to read the column or, you know, download it. And then when the debate happens and I'm 100% correct, you can send me a nice email saying, hey, Bill, how'd you do it? But here's the situation. Okay, so I'm getting all kinds of mail that Biden's going to have an earpiece. I have an earpiece right now, okay? He's not going to have an earpiece. Then I'm getting that he's going to know the questions ahead of time. He's not going to know the questions ahead of time. Because if CNN does anything, all right, it's through. Remember, CNN has the lowest ratings in history now. They're right on the cliff. They have to play it straight. Now, play it straight. They got 2 moderators who hate Trump. They hate her. And all you have to do is research Tapper and Bash, and you'll see it. There's no doubt about it. So I have a suggestion for Donald Trump. Now, to be fair, I should have a suggestion for Joe Biden, but I don't, because all he's going to do is memorize stuff and spit the memorization back if he can. The drama is, will Joe remember what he's memorized? Okay, so, but Trump has an opportunity that he doesn't even know about. But I want to tell you, because I'm not in a business to be helping political candidates. So if I'm Trump on the stage and the thing evolves the way I believe it will, with Bash and Tapper basically me asking questions about 9/11, about January 6th, about the election fraud, this is where they're going to go. They're going to try to embarrass Trump, gotcha Trump. Going to go, oh, you said this, you said that, you said this, you're going to kill people, blah, 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 blah. If I'm Trump, all I say is, look, I'm not even going to bother with that tonight. I want to give you my vision for the future and then give the vision for the future. Remember, they can't interrupt Trump. Then about halfway through the debate, if it's as softball as I think it will be, remember that CNN has to ask Biden about the border. But they don't have to follow up when Biden blames Trump for all the problems, which he will do. So if I'm Trump, when they ask me a question about halfway through, I said, I'll answer that in a moment, but why don't you guys ask Joe Biden this? Boom. Trump should have 5 of those. Why don't you ask him this? I think people would like to know that. Now, that puts the moderators in a terrible position if they don't ask it. Because everybody will go, yeah, how come they're not asking that? And I mean obvious questions. about the border, about inflation, about Ukraine, about Israel, whatever it may be. Okay? If Trump does that, he wins that debate because he throws CNN into confusion. Let me recap again. You got to wait till halfway through when it's apparent that Tapper and Bash are not going to try to pin Biden down. Then Trump says, whatever is asked of him, I'll answer that in a moment, but I have a suggestion. He has to do it politely. Why don't you ask President Biden about this? And then every question hence, he throws one in. Is that brilliant? Come on. Bill at BillO'Reilly.com. If he does that, it's over. He wins. And that's a memo. All right. Joe Biden fundraiser controversy. Now remember, he's wobbly. And I'd be wobbly. So he goes to Europe, and then he comes back, then he goes to Europe again, then he goes to LA. I mean, the guy has got to be wobbly. But he goes to raise $28 million in a celebrity fundraiser in Los Angeles, and this happens at the end of it. So roll the tape now, we'll take a look. So there is Biden and Obama, Jimmy Kimmel standing there and waving at the crowd. And then all of a sudden, President Obama takes President Biden's wrist and leads him off the stage. Okay. So immediately, the anti-Biden forces say, hey, look at that. Obama had to pull him off the stage. No, let's be fair about this. It's a wide shot. We don't know. All right, exactly how that came, but it looks like on the hand to the wrist that Obama was taking him off the stage. Now, this comes after the Italian situation where you saw the tape where Biden was wandering away, and then the New York Post and others said, oh, look, he's wandering off the group, and the Italian president had to bring him back. Well, he was wandering for a reason, and the Post didn't report that. He wanted to greet one of the flyers that did the overhead, okay? That wasn't fair. This one, if I'm betting here, I'm betting that Obama let him off the stage. But I could be wrong. Now, immediately, and I mean immediately, the anti-Biden people went into celebration. Roll the tape.
He is frozen, and Barack Obama grabs him by the arm, and then Biden snaps out of it. And then this is smart. Obama knows, sort of pats him on the back and then just sort of walks him off stage and pretends they're having a conversation, which, of course, they're not.
Well, how does he know they're not? How would he possibly know they're not having a conversation? See, that's a kind of commentary. You've got to watch that. You really have to watch it. So the White House issued this statement, quote, fresh off being fact-checked by at least 6 mainstream news organizations for lying about President Biden with cheap fakes, Rupert Murdoch's sad little super PAC, the New York Post, is back to disrespecting its readers and itself, once again by pretending the president taking in an applauding crowd for a few seconds is somehow wrong. Their ethical standards could be deal with a little unfreezing. Okay. The New York Post has been Biden's main tormentor. There's no doubt about that. All right. But, the White House has got the Democratic Party allied with NBC News, ABC, CBS, CNN, all of them. Here's what was said on MSNBC. Go.
Because they have to keep engaging in cheap fakes to try to make Joe Biden look bad. And this weekend, they've done it over the past several weeks. Mm-hmm. They've got the New York Post doing it, the RNC's doing it. All of these right-wing stooges on X are doing it.
All right. I mean, come on, White House. You got most of the media. By the way, that program there, it's watched by less than 1 million people. I mean, it gets a lot of ink because the progressive left media promotes its own. But it don't really matter. But it's an interesting conversation. My take is this. We here will only report what we know to be true. I don't know if Biden froze on that LA stage and had to be let off by Obama. It looks that way, but I don't know 100%. All right, President's schedule, he didn't do anything today, and I wouldn't either. I'd be sleeping 24 hours. He meets at 3:30 with Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg, who heads NATO. Okay. I don't expect Mr. Biden to do much. He's got to start to debate prep because it's going to take him a while to memorize all those answers. Everything is expensive these days, you know that. The government is printing trillions of dollars and consumer prices higher than ever. If the government continues its printing and spending, the dollar could continue its free fall and lose its coveted role as the world reserve currency. Let's hope that doesn't happen. But there are a few things you can do right now. American Hartford Gold can show you how to protect your money, your retirement, your hard-earned savings against inflation by helping you diversify a portion of your portfolio into physical gold and silver. Start with a short phone call, and they can have physical gold and silver delivered right to your door or put inside your 401k or IRA. So please call or text them right now. Tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you. Call 877-444-GOLD, 877-444-GOLD, or text GOLD to 65532. Again, that's 877-444-GOLD, or text GOLD to 65532. All right, let's go to the mail. John Arnold, Camano Island, Washington. Hey, Mr. O, we watched the No Spin News faithfully. I do, however, take exception to you advising listeners and viewers that if they cannot pick Biden or Trump, they shouldn't vote. I know you realize how important the right to vote is. Of course I do. But this election is so important that if you can't pull the lever for Trump, don't pull the lever for Biden. That's just assuring destruction. And I didn't say don't vote. I said vote down ticket. But I stand by that. And you vote for, you pull that lever for Biden, you're inflicting pain on you and your family, because that's going to be horrible if he gets reelected. Sean Nelson, Bradenton, Florida. Hunter Biden is a sacrificial lamb. Now that Hunter will go to jail, it paves the way for Trump going to jail. Sean, I got to break this to you, man. Hunter Biden's not going to jail, and neither is Donald Trump. They're not going. Wayne Hubbs, Phoenix, Arizona. So if the contempt citation against Merrick Garland is not going anywhere because he abreasted a branch, then why are Navarro and Bannon going to jail? Because Merrick Garland has presidential protection. Remember, Joe Biden has issued executive privilege over the audio tape of him being interviewed by her. So Garland said, I can't release it. Navarro and Bannon on their own. No protection. All three defied the congressional subpoena. Keith, concierge member, thank you. Keith gets direct access to me. Mitch McConnell's refusal to put Kate's law up for a vote was not only unconscionable, it was cruel insult to the Steinle family and hundreds of other American families who have suffered similar tragedies. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. That was one of the worst things I've ever seen. And that's why I have no respect for the turtle. No. Now, he did some good things. He blocked Merrick Garland from being a Supreme Court justice. Well, McConnell did that. Jim Gable, Morgantown, North Carolina, saw the Nancy Pelosi clip on Facebook, thought it was AI. Couldn't believe what I was hearing. Thanks for verifying that it was legitimate, O'Reilly. How can the mainstream media overlook this? Well, Jim is talking about Ms. Pelosi admitting that she was wrong by not calling in the National Guard on January 6th. Got no media coverage. Why would they bother? They wouldn't even cover the terrorists being arrested coming across the border. Kirk, off topic, but you would not have drug cartels and dealers if you didn't have drug users who are just as guilty as the other two. No, addicts aren't as guilty as those who sell the poison. They're not. The people who sell the poison and kill people for the transmission of narcotics, way below the drug addict. Drug addicts wrong. And they're helping, enabling those terrible criminals, but they're not at the same level. Frank Rusitti, Uxbridge, Massachusetts. I taught journalism at the beginning of my career. You should consider O'Reilly doing a presentation on why the media is so biased. I do it every night. And then Frank says, and how to fix it. There's no fix. Can't fix it. Because the corporate media owns the companies and they don't care. Can't force them to care. Everybody knows what's going on. Raymond Vath, Glenwood Springs, Colorado, right near Aspen. Just finished reading Killing the Witches, great book. The first part is what I expected, but I was surprised the amount of detail and history with the founding fathers. This is possibly the second best book I have ever read after the Bible. Wow. Raymond, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, I want you to go to, I know Father's Day is done, but we still have great gifts. If you forgot about Dad or Dad didn't like the dopey tie, you go to our store and you get the Not Woke mug, and you should get that anyway. Everybody should have the Not Woke mug. If you're not woke, all right, you got to make a stand. And then we have the white team normal baseball cap twinned with the Not Woke mug, a great gift. Then we have the Not Woke mug in the United States of Trump. If you really are interested in Trump and want to know about him as a person, that is the book. And Confronting the Presidents, I've been touting it, coming up fast. You can pre-order, you'll get it first, out September 10th, all right? Day of the second presidential debate. Word of the day, not be supercilious, one of my favorite words. Super, and then you go C-I-L-I-O-U-S, supercilious, not a good thing. Back in a moment with a final thought. As we celebrate Father's Day, I'm reminded of my own dad. He was a man of strong values. He taught me to stand up for my beliefs, cherish loved ones, and appreciate our freedom. This Father's Day, I found a perfect way to honor my father's legacy with an AMAC membership. AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, champions the values my father instilled in me: faith, family, freedom. By joining AMAC, you support an organization that fights for these principles. This June, you will get a 2-year membership for just $16. 2 years for the price of one. Just go to amac.com/US/O'Reilly. So please join me and thousands of others proud to be AMAC members. Visit amac.us/O'Reilly today. And let's celebrate Father's Day by standing up for what our dads believed in. Happy Father's Day. By now, you have heard me talk about Delta Rescue. They are a fantastic organization that helps rescue animals from the wilderness. You know, I'm a dog lover, so is Leo Grillo, the founder of Delta Rescue. It is his life's mission to provide everlasting care for these once abandoned animals. I myself have donated to Delta Rescue. Do you believe it is part of man's duty to care for dogs and horses, the animals that so much of our history is tied to? If so, please consider making a donation or consult your advisor about leaving a gift in your will or trust. There can be some tax advantages, and it's a great way to help Delta Rescue accomplish their mission. So please visit deltarescue.org to learn more. That's deltarescue.org. All right, here is the final thought of the day. 9 years ago, yesterday, okay, Donald Trump announced he was running for president. Now, I, your humble correspondent, did the first interview with him after that 2015 announcement. Here's a look.
The first debate is Fox, and the top 10 on the polling average are going to get in. So you may very well get into that debate.
All right, fine.
All right, so you're going to be looking at the other 9. Are you going to slash them? Are you going to get up there
Honestly, Bill,
are you?
I will take my heart out of it. I don't care. I'm either going to win or I'm not going to win. And if I don't win, I'm going to go back to building the greatest.
But it's got to be a strategy.
I'll go to Turnberry in Scotland, which I own. I'll go to Doral in Miami, which I... Look. No. I have a strategy, but I don't know. All my life.
You don't know if you're going to slash and burn.
I won't be the nicest. I'm just going to be honest. I'm not going to slash and burn. I'm going to be honest. They don't have it.
Well, he slashed and burned. Little Marco, Lion Ted, and now they're all his friends. Except Jeb Bush, not his friend. Bush family, ooh, they don't like Donald Trump. That was the most fascinating thing I have ever reported on in my 50 years politically. The wars that I covered were the most fascinating thing. But politically, the rise of Donald Trump and how he defeated 9 establishment Republicans in the 2016 vote was absolutely stunning, just from a historical basis, because he had no center of gravity. Now he does. He's a former president. He's got an organization. He's got the MAGA people. He's got a baseline. He had no baseline at all. That's what he was saying. If I lose, I'll go to Scotland. I'll go to Miami. I have a good life. I don't need it. And he was telling the truth. He decided to do it because to him, there was no downside to running for president, even if he lost. So what? He discovered the downside when he was successful. And in history, as you'll see in Confronting the Presidents, only one other president went through more personal attacks and vilification than Donald Trump. Only one. And that was Abraham Lincoln. Now, there were some nasty, nasty brawls. Andrew Jackson, John Quincy Adams, Teddy Roosevelt, Woodrow Wilson. Nasty. I mean, but nothing like what Donald Trump has gone through. Now, I'm not portraying him as a victim, though. There's a difference. As a historian, he's been treated unfairly. That's true. Okay, by the press and by the Democratic establishments in the justice side, the liberal states. There's no doubt about that. But he brought some of it on himself. Donald Trump did. He knows that. I've discussed it with him. All right? But he believes, and he might be right about this, he believes the more outraged he can make the American voter, the better chance he has of getting back to the Oval Office. Because I keep going to him, and I actually had a brief exchange with him over this anniversary, because he remembers the interview that I did with him. And I keep pounding statesman, statesman, statesman. You got a record to run on to him. And then he keeps going, I got to whip up the crowd. It worked the first time. I don't know if it's going to work the second time. And earlier in this broadcast, I was saying I didn't have any advice for Joe Biden on the debate. And I don't, because I can't calibrate what his state of mind is. I gave Trump the best tip he'll ever get on the debate. But I was thinking about Biden. If I'm advising Biden, I don't know what to tell him. He doesn't have he can't run on anything. All of his policies have failed. I mean, almost 100%. What would I do? I'll come up with something down the road. Thank you for watching and listening to the No Spin News. Please read my Sunday column and the message of the day every morning, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for watching the No Spin News. To watch the full episode anytime on BillO'Reilly.com, please sign up to become a premium or concierge member. Visit BillO'Reilly.com to sign up and start watching today.